overview of the entire city. So there'll be two members of that committee. One would be a designee by the city council president at the time, which could be a ward member, and then one would be a councilor at large. So you'd have a kind of an even keel as far as a ward council and a councilor at large on that committee. So that's the proposal put forth tonight. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. There's a couple more proposals we're working on that will be coming down, some language on the actual sign design ordinance to enhance it. There's been some recommendations made by businesses how to maybe improve the cityscape, as well as a couple procedural changes that we're working on that we should be sending down in a couple weeks. So, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Council Spatafor. Any questions for any of the sponsors? Seeing no lights on Council Spatafor's motion, refer to ordinance. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Papers refer to ordinance. Next order of business.
Be it hereby ordained by the Malden City Council that the revised ordinances of 1991 be amended by adding new sections 3.37 and 38 relative to the issuance of certain building permits. Councilor Bucci.
Councilor Bucci.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's two parts to this particular request. 3.37 would be revisiting the current ordinance to request that abutters are actually notified beyond the public hearing moment. When they are notified, we would like them to be notified before demolition gets underway. It's been my experience that we get notified the day of or shortly thereafter. In the meantime, it's hard to kind of, trace back to the residents who are involved in that particular geographical location. So my hope is that we can retweak the ordinance so that it will actually give some lead time to residents to be planning effectively when the demolition gets underway. So that's 3.37. The second part, 3.38, again, due to my experience, it had come to me that I think what I'm requesting folks to consider is defining a particular procedure revolving around the issuance of certain building permits. The idea behind this, the rationale behind this, is really to ensure that all departments who need to weigh in on a specific permit are doing so, and that permits unfortunately don't fall through the cracks, and then we're trying to backpedal to get those permits righted. So at this point, we still do have a manual process in the municipality in that issuance, and I would certainly hope that we can revisit the language in the ordinance to pretty much create a procedure that would cross the T's and I's on anything that's being issued, most specifically involving the ward council notification. So I'm requesting go to ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Bucci. Any questions for Councilor Bucci? Seeing no lights on Councilor Bucci's motion, refer to ordinance. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Papers refer to ordinance. Next order of business.
The claims of Carol Neal, 14 Ashland Place, Thomas Serena, 59 Green Street, and Daniela Bordenaro, 7 Holly Ridge Road, North Andover. Everett Tanner, 29 Bear Terrace.
On Councilor Nestor's motion, refer to finance. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Papers referred to ordinance. Claims. Next order of business.
The Standing Committee on Finance, whom was referred paper number 310, series of 2010, having considered the same, make the following report. Ordered that the city submit to the legislature for passage an act creating a chief financial officer in the city of Malden. Committee recommends that this paper be reported out favorably with the following amendment, that the attached be inserted as text of the act creating chief financial officer. Councilor Nestor for the committee.
Councilor Nestor for the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, I'd like to table this. We just received about 4:30 the opinion from the city solicitor, and I'm not sure that everybody's had the opportunity to review it. So I would like to table this until next week, and that way everybody has a chance to read through the document and contact the solicitor with any questions.
Okay, any questions for Chairman Jim Nestor? Seeing no lights on Councilor Nestor's motion to table.
Next week or next meeting? Okay. Next week.
We have a light. Councilor Kennedy.
Yes, Mr. President, can I ask a question of the chair? Given the nature of the paper and the nature of the opinion that was that we received from the solicitor, not an opinion that the committee asked for, by the way, I would like to, I wonder if we can send this back into committee to then have the solicitor go out and tell us how it can be done, because that was the question to the solicitor. By a 4-to-1 vote in committee, tell us how to do it, not why we can't do it. And once again, I think we have a 12th member of the city council in the solicitor's spot, and I just think it needs to go back to committee and maybe to outside counsel so that we can get a fair opinion. Thank you.
I'm fine with throwing it back into the committee for further discussion, if you want me to withdraw my motion or make a new motion to refer back to committee as opposed to table.
Okay. On Councilor Nestor's motion to refer back to finance, the paper back to finance. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Take us back in finance. Next order of business.
The Standing Committee on Appointments term was referred, paper number 143C, series of 2011. Having considered the same, make the following report. Mayor's appointment of Edward Wheeler of 1 Lily Street as a member of the Board of Appeals for a term to expire March 1st, 2012. Committee recommends that this appointment be confirmed. Councilor Spatafora for the committee.
Councilor Spatafora, a motion to receive the committee report. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Councilor Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. President. Once again, the reappointment committee met last week. There's a series of these which will, again, sound repetitive. We've met with most of the members here. There was several members who were not able to attend due to either illness or they were outside of the state on a vacation. So committee met with most of the attendees, everyone but 2. They submitted their resumes as well as any updates on their policies and procedures, and how they could help the committee. And we will be doing this, little footnote, we'll be doing this tomorrow night at 5:30 as well, meeting with the scholarship committee. So you'll be seeing this for the next couple weeks to bring everybody up to speed to make sure all the appointments are accurate and up to date. So we did meet on Mr. Wheeler for the Board of Appeals. He was voted out favorably 3-0, and I respectfully ask the committee's support in appointing Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Councilor Spatafora. On Councilor Spatafora's nomination of Ed Wheeler. Clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Anderson. Bucci. Christensen.
Yes.
Condon. DePietro. Fallon. Kinnon. Murphy. Nestor.
Yes.
Spatafora.
Yes.
Lucy.
Yes. Next order of business.
The Standing Committee on Appointments term was referred, paper number 134D, series of 2011. Having considered the same, make the following report. Mayor's reappointment of Claire Crokin of 182 Hawthorne Street as a member of the Board of Appeal for a term to expire March 1st, 2014. Committee recommends that this appointment be confirmed. Councilor Spatafora for the committee.
On Councilor Spatafora's motion to receive the committee report. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Councilor Spatafora. Sure.
Is there, there's a question that... Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate your allowing me this indulgence. But is there a way that we could do these appointments in mass? I know that they have to, we've individually voted on all of them, and Councilor Spatafora, so that you don't lose your voice, you're going to be saying the same thing of all these appointments that are coming up. Is there a way that we can do these things in mass? And if so, I would think that the committee would want it, the council would want to do that.
I think in this situation, because all the ones came out favorable 3-0, I don't see why we can. We can name each individual and maybe do them all at the same time.
Okay.
I'm not averse to it.
Okay. That's fine.
In similar fashion,
You want to do the same thing with Jen, because Jeff is different.
Different position. Different position. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take up all these because they did all go last week. They got approved last week, so, and they were all approved 3-0. Yeah.
Similar to what we do with the taxi licenses, those that are going to be favorable, we lump those together in one report so that we can do them in mass, and if there are recommendations that are coming out unfavorable, we could separate those so that there must be a more efficient way of wrapping this up, and I would urge that we do that.
And I appreciate that, but I think the Board of Appeals is a little different than a taxi license. So, I think they should at least get read the people and get acknowledged, but, okay.
Mr. President, if I could just clarify too, does it matter if they're reappointments or appointments? Some are appointments and some are reappointments. Some are new. That's why,
That's true.
I want to be as efficient as possible. I just don't know if there's any differences if one is a reappointment versus...
We're spending more time arguing the point now than if we just took them up individually, but, for tonight, I think they were all 3-0, so let's take them all out tonight at once.
I'm missing, okay. So, Mayor's reappointment of Claire Crokin as a member of the Board of Appeal. Mayor's reappointment of John King of 67 Upham Street as an associate member of the Board of Appeal for a term to expire March 1st, 2014. Mayor's appointment of Dino Summers as an associate member of the Board of Appeal for a term to expire March 1st, 2013. Mayor's appointment of John Spinella of 72 Avon Street as a member of the Board of Appeals, said term to expire March 1st, 2013.
Council Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. President, once again. We met with all these members, and just to clarify too, part of the makeup of the Board of Appeal in particular, there was a builder leaving the board as well as an attorney, and we have replaced them with a builder and attorney, so that has been taken care of in this body that we have before us. So everybody was voted out favorably, as we discussed earlier, so I would appreciate the council's vote or appointment for the entire Board of Appeal nominees in front of us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, on Council Spatafora's motion to appoint Edward Wheeler, Claire Crokin, John King, Dino Summers, and John Spinella to Board of Appeals. Clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Anderson. Bucci. Christensen.
Yes.
Condon. DePietro. Fallon. Kinnon. Murphy. Nestor. Spatafora.
Yes.
Lucy.
Yes. Congratulations, all 5 members. Next order of business.
The Standing Committee on Appointments, to whom was referred the council appointment to the Resident Employment Monitoring Committee. Having considered the same, make the following report. Committee recommends that Jeffrey Donahue of 56 Tremont Street be reappointed. Councilor Spatafora for the committee.
On Council Spatafora's motion, receive the committee report. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Council Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. President. Once again, we met with Mr. Donahue, and he gave us an update on the Residential Employment Monitoring Committee, and he was voted out favorably 3-0. And once again, I ask the council support in reappointing Mr. Donahue to the Resident Employment Monitoring Committee. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, on Council Spatafora's motion to appoint Jeffrey Donahue. Any other nominations? Seeing none, on Council Anderson's motion to close nominations. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? On appointment of Jeffrey Donahue, clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Anderson.
Yes.
Bucci. Christensen.
Yes.
Condon. DePietro. Fallon. Kinnon. Murphy. Nestor. Spatafora.
Yes.
Lucy.
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Donahue. Next order of business.
Give me a second. I just have... The Ad Hoc Committee on Charter Reform, to whom was referred the issue of recommending certain revisions to the city charter. Having considered the same, make the following report. Committee recommends that the following home rule petition be submitted to the legislature for passage. Councilor Christensen for the committee.
On Council Christian's motion to receive the committee report, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Council Christensen for the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. No better phrase describes this process than patience is indeed a virtue. As you recall, we've been at this for a little over 2 years, Mr. President, and I do want to thank at the outset the committee members, Councilor Spatafora, Councilor Nestor, and prior to them, Councilor Kinnon from Ward 6. Together with our city clerk, Karen Anderson, we've done a significant amount of work on this report. We have held numerous public hearings. We've had committee meetings in this very chamber that have been televised to the public. We've had receipts of emails and phone calls, and so we've spent a lot of time trying to get this right. And as you recall, this committee was formed in 2009 to address a few specific issues. And what we've tried to do in this cover letter is to lay out what those issues were. And if I can have your indulgence, Mr. President, Section 1 covers the initiative and referendum process. Sections 2, 3, 4 cover how vacancies are filled. Section 5 talks about the restrictions of seeking elective office. Section 6 is further defining the powers of the mayor. And then Section 7 is the implementation, Mr. President. As you can read in the cover letter that was submitted to the council last week, there were a number of other items that we did discuss that were suggested by members of the public, some of who are here in this chamber tonight. But at the end of the 2 years, Mr. President, we felt that some of these issues would be better suited for a full-blown Charter Review Commission consisting of elected officials, city officials, residents, business leaders, what have you. So what we also talked about too was getting the charter or some facsimile of a charter online. So once again, I want to compliment as much as I can Karen Anderson, who's agreed to have something hopefully by September that will be on the city's website, giving a summary of what the city charter is today. So there you have it. Behind the cover letter, Mr. President, is the actual text that would go to the State House. And I think we've gone over this enough, but if the mayor were to sign, then it would go to the House of Representatives, the Massachusetts State Senate, hopefully signed by the governor, and then it would appear on our ballot in November of 2011. So with that being said, Mr. President, I certainly would be open to questions on the report. And once again, I want to thank you for having the opportunity to lead the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Christensen. Any questions for Councilor Christensen? The lights up. Councilor Condon.
Yeah, I think one of the big issues, and it looks like the committee, and I know you've worked very, very hard on it. I was able, in the beginning, attend a lot of the meetings, but it's the intention of the committee, I believe, to go from 33% to 15%, which equates to about 4,500 voters to
Yes, a little
change
less.
a referendum on the ballot.
Yeah, and to the councilor's point, this was the most difficult one we had, Mr. President. What we did is relied a lot on data. Councilor Kinnon, who was on the committee at the time, really produced some startling statistics, that showed what the turnout was back when this provision was enacted versus what the turnout is today. And so, as much as we went back and forth on, what the right figure should be, we ended up on what the statistics were producing at the time, and that's how we arrived at the recommendation. But, I think, Counselor, we would be open if you had, some concerns on where it should be. We'd certainly be open to suggestions, as always.
Well, I mean, I don't think it'll be a popular position, certainly, but I